What's up, you guys? This is Zay Brooks, and this is episode 28 of a show that I do not know the title to yet. Today, what I want to talk about is divine timing. Divine timing. A lot of the things that take place in our life are out of our control, and when things do happen, I believe it is due to divine timing. We could try to understand how this world works and how our life's supposed to go and all these things, but ultimately, a lot of the stuff that takes place is out of our control once we control what we can control. And then what's left? Waiting on God's timing, or another way to say it is divine timing. A lot of the beautiful things that are taking place in my life and that will take place and has taken place, all of those things have came from the most craziest timing. Yeah, I may have predicted some of them or had an idea that this or that would take place, but there's so many variables in our life that we can't control. Once you decide to believe in divine timing, it happens a lot more often, and if anything, you start recognizing it more often. I can think of countless times in my life. I didn't even want to, before this episode, think about the times because I want them to come up naturally just to show you how genuine I am when I say divine timing is truly real. And that's just in every endeavor. Relationships, family, life, career. It all coincides with the positive things that I talk about on this channel, and the most important part being living without limitations and truly trusting God, finding out what it is that you want, and then pushing for it. A chief definite aim, a burning desire, and unwavering faith. I keep saying that over and over every episode because that comes from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which to me is probably one of the most important books I could possibly ever lend to you. There are some that I'd like to keep close to my chest because I've said before, if I say that book out loud time and time again, that book will become obsolete, and the things that the value that it gives you in life. Think and Grow Rich is a very good book, and it just talks about divine timing inside of it, because if you have a chief definite aim and burning desire and unwavering faith, the physical equivalent will be inevitable. But Napoleon Hill doesn't say when that will take place. If I do X for so long, then Y will happen in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. That's not. A lot of things that we want in life, our dreams, goals, aspirations, those have no time limit on them. I made an example to some of my friends. If God were to say, hey Zay, I'll give you $100,000 if you run 100 miles in a week, that would be so light because I would know exactly the transactional method to get that 100 grand. You see what I'm saying? In life, right, with this channel or my career of being a content creator, there is no time frame as to when I reach my goal of financial freedom where I'll never have to look at my bank account ever again, and life is what I always dreamed of it being. I think that's where a lot of people's dreams themselves go to die, because they have this conscious idea of when it should take place in their timing of their life, because they want this to happen and this to happen, so if that happens, then I need this to happen now, so the thing that I always wanted could be here during this time so I can experience this, and if it doesn't come, then that means it wasn't meant to be, so I really should just kind of give up on it because I know God doesn't want me to. You see how quickly you change your trajectory, your journey, simply because you self-sabotage and don't believe in divine timing. It happens way more often than people think. They give 3 months to something, 6 months to something, trying something new, doesn't hit the success that their conscious mind wants in their linear timeline. Oh, well, never meant to be. I guess it's just not my thing. I'm going to settle. I'm going to give up and quit and cope and say that, God didn't want me to have that. No. God is the co-creator of your reality with you. I know that's hard for some people to understand, and I'm not saying we are God or, but we were made in the image of God. The ability to manifest comes from the teachings of God. Everything in our life right now, we have manifested whether we like it or not. Our car, our job, our significant other, our friends, our family, whether we like it or not, we consistently choose and manifest the life that we live in. And right now, the decisions that you make right now are the manifestations, the thoughts, the emotions, the words. You are creating your future self right now. But you live in like this subconscious, unconscious level of understanding that you think the world inflicts upon you and you have to deal with whatever comes your way. And that if God brings you something, it's like he's a genie and he wished you this thing so that you could have this other opportunity for you. But if not, then he doesn't want you to have it. He wants you to have this shitty life, or he wants you to have this weird job with this weird roommate or weird friend, or weird partner or whatever. That's just what he wants for me, so I'm gonna live. No, that's not. I'm telling you guys, I like to give anecdotal experiences in my life. So yes, I'm just one sample size, but I have plenty of mentors, plenty of friends that are also in a creative space, or in a space where they own a business, right? Or they get to be their own boss. And the level of success that I've seen time and time again, and even in my own life, I believe that divine timing is so real. And once you believe into something like that, it helps you with other ideas like really trusting God's will and the law of manifestation. And more importantly, or one of the important things that I like to think about in my head all the time, try to find things that give me the most excitement. Participate in those things with zero insistence on the outcome. Find things in life that I find most exciting and participate in them with zero insistence on the outcome, both good or bad. Because if you're going through something that's not good, you're experiencing hell twice, right? Put that into perspective. And then if you're experiencing something good, you're already expecting what this will be. So anything else from what your conscious mind believes will happen is a negative experience to your positive experience. Simply because you had insistence on what the outcome would be like. Like, you understand what's going to take place in these events, the people that you're going to meet, anything that ever takes place in your life, you think you have a grasp on. And that takes away from your ability to believe in God's timing. I'm sorry for the wind. I'm trying to turn. Hopefully it's not hitting the mic. That takes away from your ability to believe in God's timing, God's will. Believing that you truly are the co-creator of your reality with God. God truly just wants you to do whatever it is you feel like you're put on this planet for. That's your purpose. You feel it whenever you're doing something that you really enjoy, and you're like, man, I feel like I've done this in a past life, or I feel like I've done this all my life, blah, blah, blah. That is your purpose. That is your passion, something that you feel so strongly for. Why would God want you to have something that you really like doing, but then you go spend your life 9 to 5 every day, 5 days a week, doing something that you don't want to do? So you're asleep for 24 hours in a day. You're asleep for 8, and you spend the other 8 doing something you don't want to do. You think God wants you to experience 8 hours a day doing something that you may want to do? It truly doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm not saying that you can have a job that you don't enjoy, or a career or whatever, but if you want something that's unprecedented, something that you really enjoy doing, you need to go do that without limitation. And once you have a chief definite aim, and a lot of you, you don't really know what you want. So God doesn't even know where to help you. And that's back to my point. God just wants to see you achieve your goals and dreams and stuff that you feel like you have a purpose for, to ultimately glorify his name and then serve others. And when you choose, right, because we have free will, God gives you the choice to go work a job or go do things that you don't want to do. That's the beauty of this reality. We have free will to choose what we want. If you want something that's unprecedented, that a lot of people don't have, which includes having a job that you enjoy, having a career that you wake up excited to go to, having ample amount of money, having financial freedom, a lot of these things, there's no time limit as to when it can happen. If that was the case and everybody knew, hey, in 3 years, if I did this, then everybody would be rich. Everybody would be walking around with huge houses, and I don't know what that would do to the economy. This isn't an economics podcast, but in any case, that is why there are only so many people that you see on TV or on the internet that have the things that they want, because very few people are willing to go the distance for something that they want. And then they have to trick their minds to know that God wants me to want that too. But if it's something that's very difficult to obtain or takes a long time, I don't know the time limit. It could take a week, right? Without limitations. I don't want you to sit here and think, man, if Zay's saying if I got to chase my dreams, I got to wait 10 years. I'm not saying that. It could take 1 week. It could take 1 month. It could take 1 day. But can you truly, jeez, those birds are about to hit me. Can you truly let go and trust divine timing? Trust God's timing. Easier said than done. Ever since, we were little kids, think about this. We wanted to be an astronaut or an NBA player or an actor or a singer. We had no limitations as to when that would take place. We just wanted to do it. It was like our inner child was so present. We didn't say, when I'm 21, I want to be this. No, we just said, we want to do this. And did we have any doubt that we were going to be that? No. I was legit walking around thinking I was Allen Iverson. This guy that plays for the Sixers, he's an MVP in '01. I'm wearing the fake tattoo sleeve and the headband, and I got cornrows. I'm thinking there's no limitation to what I can achieve. But then as you get into society, as you start to listen to your friends and the internet and TV and your teachers, then you're like, well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can't really get that. And then it's just the doubt, the opposite direction of the law of manifestation, not believing in God's timing, right? And being open-minded enough, am I in the NBA right now? Did I truly believe that was going to be the case? Did I believe that all the way till I was like 19, 20 years old? I genuinely did. I genuinely believed that the NBA was for me. But, as I've said in the past, God shows you different avenues to get what you want. You just have to be open-minded enough to let go and trust in divine timing. Do I play in the NBA? No. But do I work for the NBA? Yes. I work with the NBA. I guess I don't work for the NBA yet, but I work with the NBA. I'm interviewing players. I'm going to NBA All-Star Weekend. I'm going to draft night, right? Like, letting go and trusting God's timing and God's will, knowing what it is that you want, that's all you could ever ask for. That's all your higher self could ever ask for. That's all God could ever ask for. But you have to be willing to trust God's timing, divine timing. I'd like to give you guys an example, right? And I'm kind of going into my life a little bit specifically here. When I lived in Texas, towards the last year, I was running out of money. From the money that I had, I saved up a lot of money when I left my sales job. I saved like a pretty good chunk of change, in between the range of 25 and 50K, right? I'm not going to give an exact number. But after about 2 years of being an entrepreneur, obviously you have to dip into the savings and pay for things and stuff. I was running out of money. It was so bad that I was living, and my roommate didn't even know this, right? Frank, if you're watching this, bro, here, I'm telling you, I legit had no idea how I was going to pay rent every month. And this was like a year and a half ago. And you know what I had to do? I had no other choice but to read this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. No other choice. I didn't know what else to do. I went to the gym, right? Because that was free. I got to go with my roommate. And I was making videos and stuff, and like little money was coming here and there. Like it wasn't like I was making $0. I was making a little bit. But I had no other choice but to let go and read books. And he talked about God's timing and God's will. And there's truly nothing we can do except exist right now in the present moment. And so that's what I did. I took every day and I was like, man, I'm healthy. I'm able-bodied. I can go on a 3-mile run. I can go lift weights. And so I really got into shape. I really got in track of my diet, partially because I had to figure out exactly every single dollar I was spending. But sure enough, I knew I always wanted to get paid to be me. That was my manifestation. I never had any doubt. I had signs in my room that said, I will be one of the biggest content creators in the world. I will get paid to be me. What else did it say? I will never work a normal job ever again. I have more money than I can even imagine. And at the time, I was flat broke. So here comes the divine timing part. I'm with one of my best friends. He's a really big content creator. I was in Vegas, just kind of being around him, right? Meeting people, networking, right? Dipping and dabbing. And so I end up meeting these guys who we end up talking about NBA. They want me in a video. We end up talking about trivia. I expressed to them that I'm really good at trivia. When I was a little kid, I was reading Ripley's Believe It or Not. I was the kid that wanted to know a little bit about everything. I loved the questions and riddles and stuff like that. And sure enough, those people that I met on a random Thursday, meeting a friend in Vegas to go to this event, while I had no idea any of that was going to take place, that's the job that I'm working right now. That, in my opinion, will propel me, be one of the biggest variables or factors to me reaching that financial freedom, getting paid to be me, joining a startup like that. A phenomenal, it's called Babita, right? And we do trivia of all kinds, sports, music, TV, soccer, you name it, right? I had no idea something like that was going to happen. But you know what I did believe? That something was going to happen. And I can stack all my chips, swear on whoever you want. I knew something was coming. I just didn't know what, and I didn't know when. I didn't know how, I didn't know why. But I knew that something was going to happen. So I trusted God. I had no other choice to. And that's the crazy part about building a business or being a content creator or doing something that's unprecedented. There's a point of the journey, I swear to you, where it's just going to be you and God. All the people congratulated you at the start line. Oh, congrats, you're building a business. Congrats, you're, doing content, or you're being an actor or a singer, right? And then there's a moment where they all leave you and you're in this middle of your journey and it's lonely. And you might have people like mentors, right? You're supposed to have mentors. I had mentors and I had other people in the space, but I wasn't asking for handouts or like, yo, give me this or give me that. I knew that I wanted the journey to be mine, right? I had no other choice. It was me and God. And I decided in that moment, can I quit? Do I quit and go back to California and get a regular job and be some Joe Schmo? But I got money in my pocket, right? I got a 401k, and life is comfortable, right? A lot of people will trade, what I'm trying to say is a lot of people will trade that freedom for security, and that's fine. But think about life as like a video game. Why would I go play GTA and go have a regular job? If I think this life is a video game, and I think we live in a simulation, and I'm only here on this planet for 80, 100 years, why would I want to live life not taking chances? So that's what I thought in my head. I was like, no, this is what I want. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know something's going to happen. So I buckled down. I got my body right. I was prepared for the opportunity. And sure enough, something came. Something came. I had been single. This is the first time I mentioned this. I had been single for 3 years, stayed so patient, right? There was times where I was lonely. I was like, God, you know what? I'll stay patient. I won't settle. I'll find, you're going to bring me the right woman. I'm going to work on myself, and everything will happen for a reason. And sure enough, without getting too into specifics, because I enjoy my life to be private in some areas, because all my life's on social media, I found a woman that I genuinely enjoy. She is just awesome, and she knows that. So moving forward, divine timing is really real. I met her at a bar, and I had no business being like in the city that I was in, or at the bar I was at. I was just kind of walking by, met some friends. The friend brought a friend, and I ended up meeting her. And I swear to you guys, there was no reason as to why I met her. There's nothing else but God, but divine timing. And I'll say to those of you in relationships or people that are single that can even learn from this, the priorities that I have in my life now versus when I was single for those 3 years, even like my intrinsic motivation to be a big content creator or to reach financial freedom, my priorities have switched so much. It's bought me so much more freedom and time to think about the things that I really want. Because obviously as men and as women, we chase the whoever we're interested in, right? We spend time thinking about who we want to spend time with, suitors, people that may be of interest to be with. I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say. The amount of time that I don't spend on that now, or like taking this trip or buying these clothes or I don't know anything about the motivation to be more attractive, or be the best version of myself to attract a woman. It's just I don't spend that time doing that anymore. It feels freeing. I'll be honest with you. So, and it's crazy how people are like, oh, relationships, they make you feel bounded down. They make you feel this. Actually, no. I feel so free. I feel so seen. I feel heard. I feel acknowledged. I don't feel lonely. And it's something that I patiently waited for. Some of you are waiting for a relationship or waiting for that career job. It's not your timing. It's God's timing. All you can do is let go and just be the best version of yourself. Because imagine you spend all this time complaining, not believing in God's timing, complain. The perfect woman or man, whatever you're into, walks by. And you blew it because you weren't ready. You were too busy stuck complaining. The perfect job comes by, right? And you need the interview process and all these things. Or let's say you wanted to be an actor or a model or whatever the case may be. And the opportunity comes by. You're too busy complaining. You fucking blew it. Excuse my language. You have to trust and believe in God's timing and prepare. Prepare. My dad, favorite saying my dad gave me. If you stay ready, you'll never have to be ready. I'm ready to go right now. I promise you. If Mr. Beast calls it, hey man, I need this episode, I need this video, blah, blah, blah. If somebody says, hey man, I need you to run this 5K for whatever reason. Say, I need you to partner with whoever, ESPN, Bleacher Report, this thing to go do. All right, what's up? Where I got to go? What do I got to do? But I can't begin to understand the timing of when that will all take place. And I hope you can look at me as somebody that I haven't achieved financial freedom. I haven't achieved the Mark Cuban, LeBron James, Drewski, Jack Harlow level of success. And I'm still here telling you that divine timing is very real. There are some people that they'll see the success, kind of like in a position like I am. They'll see a little bit of success with what it is that they want. Their chief definite aim, burning desire, unwavering faith. They see the success, and then they think that they hop back in the driver's seat. Watch out, God. I know you had timing, and I know you got me here, and you got me in the building and meeting all these people. Let me get back in order. Let me do this. This is my thing now. I got back in control. Thank you, God. You got me here, but let me control all the other variables. And God's like, man, I had you set up. Look, you had all these things that I had planned for you. But you see a little bit of success and want to take back the reins, take back control. You gotta, even when you see a little bit of success, you gotta be just so thank you, God. Truly, I have so much gratitude. Any opportunity you bring my way, I will add maximum value, maximum effort. Thank you. I am so excited for what's to come, but I am thankful for what I have. And I trust your divine timing. I trust it all. Whatever you have planned for me, God, I am open and I am ready. I am listening to the signs, the synchronicities, the people that you bring into my life, the thoughts that I have when I'm quiet and meditating and reflecting and doing inner work, the things that you bring to me. There was one month, right, in Texas where I was so broke. I was like, God, what do I do? What do I do? And I went to like a park. I went to the park because I ran sprints and like I was running some miles or whatever. And as I'm running, right, I was like, wait, I could do a walkathon. So sure enough, my roommate's girlfriend had the machine, right, where you can walk, you know what I mean, the flat one. And I told my community, right, because I was streaming and I was making decent money, but not a lot. And I was like, yo, I'm doing a walkathon. So I set a timer on like the top corner of the screen. And it was like, I think it was like $5 to add like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that. I ended up walking for 3 days. So I got the idea Thursday, right? Friday afternoon, I started it. I didn't get done until Monday morning. So if you want to pause it and do the math, whatever, I don't care. What I'm trying to say is that 3-day thing that I had this random idea from God when I was reflecting and being thankful for what I had and existing in the present moment, God showed me this idea. Divine timing. And that paid my bills for that month. Was I still in a scenario where I had to really trust God and I was still broke after that month? Yeah. Right? Rent was $1,000. I had to make stuff shake. And the point I'm trying to tell you is divine timing is really real. If you choose to let go and trust God and give moments for peace and gratitude and just existing in the present moment, I swear to you, God will give you the idea that you've been looking for, the inspiration, the muse, the woman, the career, the job. You just have to let go and truly trust God for what it is. Divine timing. And like I said, I could have written down 10 different scenarios, right, of all these people and all these things that I've met and things that I come full circle and manifestations. I could spend too much time doing that. I made sure before the episode not to do that so I could show you how genuine I mean when I say there are things in my life that I don't even remember, but I was so thankful for because it was God's timing. And we truly are the manifestations of the actions that we were doing weeks, months, years prior, whether we like it or not. So I guess there's a point where you say, Zay, how do I trust God's timing? How do I believe in divine timing? I think you just make a conscious decision that you choose to let go and let God. And remember, yes, I talk about limitations, not setting any limitations, but there are no limitations to set if you don't even know what it is that you want. So that would be my biggest thing is figure out what it is that you want. One of my really good friends, he was playing basketball. He didn't know what to do. He asked me for advice. I said, bro, I can't even begin to give you the advice. All I would say is let go, find time by yourself and reflect and write down what it is that you want. Write it down. Tell God about it and then talk to God about your plans and how you see yourself getting there. Once you have it refined, find somebody who you trust their creative opinion, a mentor, run that by them, see what they think, somebody that you truly trust because they could really sabotage your dreams and goals. Someone you truly trust. And then push for it. Chief definite aim, burning desire. Burning. Do you guys know what burning desire means? It means that I want it so bad that I'm willing to wake up 6:30 in the morning and figure out what it is that I want to do for it. And then unwavering faith. Unwavering faith. Trust in God's timing. Divine timing. You could work for months, years, and see no progress. And then the one day you decide to give up, that very next week, boom. Whatever you were looking for in that business opportunity, whatever you look for, it happens. I'll give a quick story and then we'll do our meditation. I think we're at, does that say 34 or 24? 24, perfect. There was this woman that wanted to swim the English Channel. And she swam it the very first time. She was looking down. She couldn't really see it, and at a certain point, she had no idea how far or close she was. She didn't really get any advice from anybody, so she decided to quit because she truly didn't understand how far away the goal was. Once she realized how far she had actually came, the second time that she did it, she blew past the record, no questions asked, got it done easily. And the point that I try to make with that is divine timing is something that we can't begin to question. All we can do is begin. If we try something and it doesn't work, or I'm in this endeavor, or I try this video idea, there's nothing that we can do once it's posted, once we start the idea, once we build the business. At a certain point, all we have to do is trust God. And let's say you try this endeavor and it doesn't work for whatever reason, and you choose to give up on it, right? Or you're like, man, this is too difficult. It's important that you try and learn from that. There are things that I've tried in my life with certain content or certain ideas where I tried it for a little bit and I didn't really like it. That's something that I didn't really want to do anymore, to be honest with you. So it's important to try things and make the main goal the main goal. My main goal was getting paid to be me, right? Some people's goals are too narrow. I want to get paid from doing this exact thing, from this exact here, this very specific on this day and this time. Make your goal very broad and then go for it. You may not succeed the first time. You might not. But reflecting and understanding in your journey, God allows you to see how far you came, what you need to understand, what's next. It's very difficult when you try to think where the end of the English channel is. You're always trying to think about it. Just trying, God will help you see how far it is away, and how much work you need to do. It's okay. I'm not saying that you're not going to fail and things aren't going to go smooth. You're not going to face adversity. But the moment that you choose to let go and just try, figure out what it is that you want, that's all you can do. That is in essence what God wants you to do. She really did. Like once she found out, wait, I was really that close. The second time she did it, she killed it. Broke the record, I think, for a woman swimming the English Channel. So, all that to say, you got to trust God's divine timing and figure out what it is that you want. Chief definite aim, burning desire, unwavering faith. And once you have all those things, you try. And you let go and let God and trust His timing. Trust His timing. You don't have to be willing to wait days, weeks, months. You have to be willing to go the distance for however long it took. For me, when I said I wanted to get paid to be me, I did that in the summer of 23, and I genuinely started to get paid to be me around to where it was worth mentioning. Probably took about 2.5 years. And I'm on my way. So I'm thankful. Truly am thankful for everything that's coming my way, and I'm excited. I'm thankful, but there's a lot more to achieve, and I know that any opportunity God brings me, I'll achieve maximum value and maximum effort, providing as much value as I can to other people, serving other people. I'll say this really quick too. Maybe we skip the meditation. I'm not too sure, but I want to say this really quick. There's these books that some are longer than others, and you guys are like, Isaiah, I don't really want to read books. They're too long. They take forever. If I were you, I would start with smaller books. You don't go to the gym and start ripping, 3x10, 225. You don't just come in and start benching that. No, you start off small. There are some small books that I can put you on game with. There's this one right here that I have tattooed on my leg. This says Maktub. The book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho is like 110 pages, and it's super small. The pages are barely any words. It's like 80 words per page. Another book, The Four Agreements, is a phenomenal book. And this book that I'm reading right now, sometimes I like to read long books, sometimes I like to read smaller books. The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by, I think it's Derek Chopra. I'm so sorry if I'm botching your name. But another book, look how small it is. I'm going to finish this in a day. Building up momentum. Start small. I really recommend reading books, man. I really recommend it. There's so much perspective gained. I just wanted to say that really quick too. Read books. Read the smaller ones. I'll put you on game. Nobody's emailed me on the email that I have on the description. Nobody's emailed me. I'm telling you, it's so free. If you want to talk about anything, you want me to bring up anything on the show, you want to talk about books, you want to talk about anything, I'm right there. I know it'll take time and blah, blah, blah. I get it. But I'm just letting you guys know. It is free and open. If you want to make some anonymous Gmail to talk to me so you don't think that I know who you are, it doesn't matter. If you want Rex, I got you. Whatever you guys want, man, I'm here. I'm of service to you. That is the whole point of this page. Is to give you thought-provoking concepts and things to resonate with in your own life. I want to do the meditation, so we'll do it really quick. Find a place on the ground. It'll be quick this time. Find a place on the ground, on your bed, whatever feels comfortable. What I want you to do is take 3 deep breaths from me. So here we go. Breathe in. And breathe out. 2 more times. Breathe in. And breathe out. 1 more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. And keep your eyes closed for me. And what I want you to do is visualize your chief definite aim. Realize it right now. What is it that you want? What is it that you enjoy doing? I'm going to give you some time just to think about that. What is it that you want in life? What's your purpose? And if you don't know what it is that you want, you need to figure that out yesterday. Stop worrying about all this extra stuff in your life. The most important thing for God to help you in your life is to know what it is that you want. You guys got to figure that out ASAP. And then once you have that figured out, keep your eyes closed. Imagine all of those things happening for you. Everything you could possibly imagine. Visualize the life that you live. The senses, what you feel, see, hear, taste, smell. Think about that. How you go through your day. I'm going to give you some time to think about that. And the biggest thing I'd probably want you to realize about this entire show is anything and everything is possible. You just have to let go of the limitations that what you just visualize can and will be a reality. But you have to push for it. You have to figure out what it is that you want. You got to have a chief definite aim, burning desire, and unwavering faith in divine timing. You have to be willing to go the distance. Are you willing? Are you really willing? I don't know if you are. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people are not willing to go the distance for their dreams, for their purpose, for their passion, what they feel like they were put on this planet for, and you feel like you can't go the distance for that. You can open your eyes now. I appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, anything is possible, and life is truly good, man. Look at life. Look at life. All right. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next one.